Hello guys, Belle here. Gonna talk about the Mistweaver Monk. If you haven't seen any of the previous videos, this is your new condensed stat window. Pretty nice. I like it. I enjoy it. Let's take a look at your artifact weapon. It is Shilun, the Staff of the Mist. Pretty nice artifact weapon for your Mistweaver Monk. So let's talk a little bit about the changes that have happened to the monk as far as healing goes. Now, the monk heals is something that I do partake in currently, so I do heal. Let's talk a little bit about some of the changes that have happened here. So the first thing right off the bat you guys are going to notice is you don't have Soothing Mist anymore as we know it. So Soothing Mist essentially is going to be your passive ability here. So a lot of this is going to be, normally you're kind of locked into your Soothing Mist, needing to cast other abilities. You don't really get a lot of throughput healing in most scenarios, although monk heals have always been pretty amazing, especially as of late in Warlords of Draenor. I like monk healing. It's actually one of my favorite classes to heal within PvP. So with your Soothing Mist being a passive ability now, your Effuse, which we're going to talk about Effuse because it is a new spell, your Enveloping Mist, your Vivify, and your Life Cocoon also can trigger Soothing Mist. Being a channeled ability, this is also going to mean that it's not going to cost any mana, so it's basically free. So basically, after casting these spells, you'll continue to channel healing mists into the target, healing them for 11k every 0.5 seconds until you take any other action. So this will be great, kind of just inherently sitting there, kind of similar to how you used to do with your Soothing Mist. Soothing Mist was always kind of your filler. You always had Soothing Mist up on your tank. If you're healing in RBGs, you always have Soothing Mist up on whatever healing target that you're dealing with, whether it be the flag carrier, whatever the scenario might be. So let's talk about some of your core combat healing abilities here. So your mastery with Mistweaving is going to be your Gust of Mist. Your targeted heals also cause a Gust of Healing Mist, instantly healing the target for a minor amount. This does get increased based off your gear. You have your Soothing Mist, which is your passive ability. You have your Effuse, Enveloping Mist, Renewing Mist, Essence Font, Vivify, and your Mistweaver specific talent is going to be your Mistwalk. Instantly dash to an ally and heal them for a very large amount. So these kind of things are just some of the changes. And another change here is, so we don't have stances anymore when it comes to monks. You don't need to swap to different stances. Fist weaving as we know it is more valid now because you actually get to keep these spells here, since you don't have to choose between those in your stances. One of the things that I did like about healing with the monk specifically is your ability to be able to swap stance so that you can fist weave to a certain degree, especially as a healer in arenas and RBGs. It was super important that you have a little bit of a defensive ability to be able to just do just a tiny bit of damage as needed. Because they're giving them to you here, this is a lot of utility that's being given to the monks, and I don't main a monk heal, so if some of you, if this is not, you know, a happy thing or whatever the case may be, please understand my stance is of a not main perspective. I main a Destruction Warlock, so I don't want to insult anybody that does main this spec in this class, because this is just the way that I view it as far as what I use the Mistweaver Monk for. But let's go ahead and just take a look at the stuff that we have going on here. You guys are going to notice a lot of change when it comes to the stuff that you're seeing. It was super weird for me to log in and not see Soothing Mist there. It was the first thing I noticed, and I about had a mental breakdown. So Effuse, this is a fast and efficient healing spell. This is something that is new. It's a 1.3 second cast, is pretty awesome, and I do appreciate that. This is one of the first classes that I'm actually going for the spec, going over some of the spells, because I know the differences in these spells that have changed because I heal with it now. So pretty decent. Doesn't consume too terrible amount of mana. You also have your Reawaken here. This returns all dead party members to life with 30% maximum health. Cannot be cast while in combat. So this, your Reawaken, I'm going to move this here so that we can see the difference. This is essentially going to be your resurrection for you know, your rezzing party members. So pretty cool. This is essentially your mass resurrection. We did talk about this when I did the priest videos, that this is something that's given for healers to be able to do mass res. So pretty nice, as it were. You still have your revival, which is your oh shit button. This is still on its 3-minute cooldown, still the same utility that you would use for it before. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that that was still there. And then your Vivify was something that new. It's a 1.3 second cast. This does cause a surge of invigorating mist around the targets, healing them and their nearest 2 injured allies for 61k. Now keep in mind these stats, guys. This is at the base stats with my artifact weapon, with my Vindicative Combatants gear. I've been calling it Wild Combatant gear for like the last 7 videos. But yeah, that's pretty much what you're looking at as far as that's concerned. And then I'll give you just another view here of your stuff. I'm pretty sure I put all the things down on the bar so that you could see. And then of course here you see your mastery, which is the Gust of Mist. So let's get right in and let's talk about some of your talent options. And then I want to show you guys what it looks like to heal so you guys can see the Soothing Mist proc. Those of you that are, the rotation is very different now. So, I think it's going to be okay if you main Mistweave. I'm not really sure how this is going to be viewed, but if you are a main for Mistweaving, I would like you to please comment on this video so that I can understand too from a main's perspective what we're looking at change-wise here. So let's talk about some of your talents. So for your first set of talents, some of this is not your Chi Burst and all that. That's definitely not new. Your Mistwalk is something that was added. That's going to definitely be this is going to be your Mistweaving only ability, something specific to this specific spec. So you have your Chi Burst. This is a 30-second cooldown, small little cast time, hurls a torrent of Chi energy up to 40 yards, dealing 60 something nature damage to all enemies, as well as healing to the monk and all allies in its path. So this is a hybrid here for the healing and the damage burst. Zen Pulse, this is an instant ability, is on a 15-second cooldown. You can trigger Zen Pulse around an ally. This deals 60k damage to all enemies within 8 yards, and the ally is healed for the amount of damage done. This is what I chose to highlight here just for the specific one. I'm going to swap to the Mistwalk as well so that you guys can see it, but since this is Zen Pulse, I do want to check that out because that seems like it's going to be a pretty awesome utility here. Your Mistwalk, this does replace your Transcendence, so it's an instant ability, 20-second recharge, instantly dash to an ally and heal them for a pretty good amount. Your second set here, this stuff isn't new, guys. Chi Torpedo, same deal, does replace your roll. It's instant, torpedoes you forward for long distances, does increase your movement speed 30% for 10 seconds. This can stack twice. Tiger's Lust, same deal here. This is not new. This is instant, 30-second cooldown, increases a friendly target movement speed by 70% for 6 seconds, and does remove all root and snares. This is something that's a great utility to have as a PvP healer. Celerity, this is a passive ability, reduces the cooldown of your roll by 5 seconds and increases its maximum number of charges by 1. I use this right now because I'm lazy and it does make me go faster. Obviously, you're probably going to use Tiger Lust in PvP, but Celerity is something that you might take in PvE so that you can navigate through raids and dungeons just as quick as everybody else. For your level 45, you have Life Cycles. This is a passive ability. Enveloping Mist reduces the mana cost of your next Vivify by 15%, and Vivify reduces the mana cost of your next Enveloping Mist by 15%. So your Enveloping Mist, it does cost 66k mana, and your Vivify is 49k mana. So this is a pretty good reduction, especially when you're dealing with mana management and being able to do your Thunder Focus Tea and all of that stuff. Super important. Not your Thunder Focus. I meant your Mana Tea. Sorry, I'm a little bit retarded. Let's put that on my bar. Meant your Mana Tea, which is crucial to being able to give yourself a little mana bump, especially when you're in the middle of a boss fight. I know currently when we play Monk, your whole focus is making sure you always have stacks of Mana Tea so that you can use them. So with this next set, your Life Cycles, Enveloping, we just talked about what that does. So I almost read it again, guys. I do apologize. You also have Spirit of the Crane. Tiger Palm causes your next Blackout Kick or Rising Sun Kick to restore 0.75% mana. I can see where this would be useful in a lot of scenarios. Well, that guy just walked right in front of me. Rude. But Mist Wrap here is what I've chosen. This is passive, increases enveloping mist duration by 1 second, and it has a healing bonus of 20%. You may now channel Soothing Mist while moving. So this, to me, I do appreciate Mist Wrap, and this is probably something that I will use of this set. I don't imagine I would use Spirit of the Crane very often unless it has a specific purpose in relation to what I'm doing. For your next set here, you have Ring of Peace. This is instant. It's on a 45-second cooldown. Form a Ring of Peace around the friendly target for 8 seconds. Enemies in the ring that use a harmful spell or ability will be knocked out of the ring. I think that's pretty legit. That's basically like Boy in the Bubble here. I could see a lot of use for this in PvP, specifically, especially to save a healer's life when it comes to melee, which typically just rip through your healer. So I do think that that's respectable to have. You also have the Song of Chi-Ji. I'm going to say that's what it's called. If I mispronounced it wrong, I'm sorry. I'm not a monk. Does have a little bit of a cast time, is on a 30-second cooldown. This does conjure a cloud of hypnotic mist that slowly travels forward. Enemies touched by this mist fall asleep, disoriented for 20 seconds. I don't know. I just really enjoy that, and I want to see what that looks like in a PvP environment, to be perfectly honest. So this makes me giggle just because it does make me think of Hunger Games and that weird fog that burned them. Probably not any kind of relation, but funny just the same. You also have your leg sweep, which we all know what this is. This is great for defensive utility when it comes to PvPing specifically. Could also be used on a solo aspect, with them giving you some damage utility here where you don't have to swap stances. This does mean that as a healer, you can be a little bit powerful damage-wise and not be so reliant on having a DPS with you at all times. Now, we don't need Daddy to be with us because we can do some damage ourselves as well as healing ourselves. I really, really appreciate what Blizzard's done here, even though we could always do that on the fly with the swapping the stances and fist weaving. Now it feels more real and attainable. We don't feel so vulnerable. Your leg sweep, this was part of your defensive. It's a 45-second cooldown. It is instant. It knocks down all enemies within 5 yards and stunning them for 5 seconds. This will make or break an arena win for sure. Level 75, you have your healing elixir. This is instant. It does have a 30-second recharge. Drinking a healing elixir, healing you for 15% of your maximum health. Healing elixir will automatically trigger you to trigger if you drop below 35% health and a charge is available. This is something that I think would be super useful, especially to a new healer. If you're just wanting to try Mistweaving for the first time, this is something you don't have to worry about in your rotation because it'll automatically do it for you. I've talked in several videos about passive versus instant abilities, or those that you have to actually click to engage. I think passive abilities do help in a lot of ways, but I also think sometimes passive abilities might handicap you as you're trying to learn what your new spec can do if you've chosen a new role such as a healer. I do think that it can kind of inhibit you because it forces you to rely on those passive abilities. So this, because it's instant, you get to use it, and then if you automatically drop below that health, it will use it as well. You also have your diffuse magic. This is also on a 2-minute cooldown. It is instant, reduces magic damage you take by 60% for 6 seconds, and transfers all currently active harmful magical effects on you back to their original caster. This is going to be huge in a lot of boss fights when you're dealing with a lot of magic damage here. So you definitely want to make sure that you keep that in your toolbox as needed. I did choose to stick with Dampen Harm here. This is instant, a 2-minute cooldown. Reduces all damage you take by 30% from the next 3 attacks that damage you for 15 or more % of your maximum health. This is castable while stunned. I'm thinking that this is going to be used in a lot of engagements where you know there's going to be a specific mechanic that you can't help, you can't defend against. So this could be one of those moments where you would swap in that boss fight for you to be able to use this prior to the engagement. And then, of course, something to have in your tool bag just to be able to use it. I'm going to keep it here just so we can showcase it. So there's that, but I'm actually going to use the healing elixir in that scenario because I want to see what that looks like. For your level 90, you have the Refreshing Jade Wind. This is an instant ability, small little 5.44 second cooldown there. Summon a whirling tornado around you, causing 48k healing over 5.4 to up to 6 allies within 8 yards. This does also increase the healing of your Essence Font by 20% while active. Pretty nice. You also have your Invoke Chi, the Red Crane. This is a 3-minute cooldown. It's instant. You summon an effigy of Chi-Ji, the Red Crane, for 45 seconds. Also heals nearby allies with Crane Heal for 32k. I'm not gonna lie, obviously you guys see I already have my Summon Jade Serpent statue. It is an instant ability. It's on a 10-second cooldown. You do summon a Jade Serpent statue at your target location. This is your normal Jade statue, guys. I have lived so long as a monk healer with this statue that I didn't even care about these other two. I just immediately put this here because this is something that I'm so used to as part of being a monk. A heals monk, that is. When you channel Soothing Mist, the statue will also channel Soothing Mist on a target. Now, in thinking about this, I realize Soothing Mist is something that's going to happen passively on its own. So this might not get as much use as it used to. This might be a situation where you might want to try using your Refreshing Jade Wind instead of your Serpent statue. It's just gonna need to be some testing and working out to see which is gonna be your better. I'm so used to this statue that it was just instant. As soon as I seen it, I clicked it. I was very sad to see that Blizzard is making you choose between having the statue, because I feel like the statue is such an inherent part of what it means to be a monk healer. But I'm just going to have some faith in Blizzard, and I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say maybe they know what's best here. I don't agree with all Blizzard changes, so this one really bummed me out. I don't even main a monk heals, and this really bummed me out to not see this. I guess we could also put this here so that you guys can see what this specific skill looks like. But yeah, that made me a lot of sad, guys, just because I'm so used to seeing that, that not seeing it makes me sad. So your last one here, you have your Mana Tea, reduces the mana cost of your spells by 50%, which actually is not what I thought it was. So I might have been a huge fat liar, guys. Reduces the cost of... Okay, so Mana Tea is not the same as it used to be. I do apologize for not catching that sooner. I just assumed. 1.5 minute cooldown. Reduces the mana cost of your spells by 50% for 10 seconds. So... Focus Thunder Tea now empowers your next 2 spells. Your Rising Thunder is passive. Rising Sun Kick resets the remaining cooldown of your Thunder Focus Tea. I don't know how I feel about this, guys. I'm going to be really honest. I didn't realize that they had changed that, so this caught me just a little bit off guard. So I guess we're just going to use that to see what that looks like, but I don't know how I feel about that. I'll do a follow-up video when some changes are made to tell you how I feel. Those of you that made monk heals, this is another part of what made you had to focus on your Mana Tea and make sure that you had those stacks and you were getting those stacks the proper way, with your Enveloping Mist and your Surge. I'm a little frustrated on that because I didn't notice it. But guys, we're going to roll with the punches. We're going to be super optimistic here because this is a new expansion. We do know that they're making a lot of changes to all classes, so I'm not going to sit and dwell on this too much, to be perfectly honest. We'll use it, we'll see what it does, and we'll see how our mana feels and what we're losing, and if we feel like anything is missing. So let's see what we've got here. There's no... I guess I'm just gonna... I can't heal any of this crap, so... We're gonna heal myself, I guess. Screw it, we'll just do this. Alright, so I don't have my statue. Normally in this instance, I would hit my 6 button. I would pop my statue. We would do all the things. That's not really here. So let's look and see what we've got. So we've got our Zen Pulse. That's a pretty nice ability. Your Song of Shiji. Oh wow, that's neat. That's neat. There's your Jade, all the fun stuff. There's all your abilities to be able to kick and kill and heal and do and all the stuff. So here's your Effuse. And let's just start doing your normal spells as you would do them. We're going to use your Vivify. We're going to use your Enveloping Mist. And I'm waiting for that Soothing Mist. So there you go. There's that Soothing Mist proc. You do see that there. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that we could probably... I'm going to go back into my statue. I miss my statue, guys. I'm sorry. I have to have that statue. I don't think I can live without that. So let's see what we've got. So got a proc. I'm going to get that active. See what this stuff is doing. As you guys can see, the Soothing Mist here is happening. You see all of your stuff that's going on here. Still a lot of heals, guys. Still pretty happy with the things I'm seeing. Here's your ability from your from that there. So there's your essence font, which is pretty cool. So this is pretty much what you're looking for, guys. It's a lot of change, but still. And then there's your reawaken. So I'm just showing you what it looks like. It's just your standard, you know, bring people back to life spell. So pretty cool. Digging it. Love what it's doing. So yeah, that's pretty much, they didn't change. The life cocoon is a little bit different. It's a lot more animated, and it's actually a little bit more of a cocoon. I actually kind of appreciated it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Healing, doing all the things. There's your fuse. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. You still have your revival. I don't remember ever seeing the giant dragon in revival. That may or may not be new. I'm trying to remember if it's something I remember seeing. Interesting. Okay. Well, you also got to see the Doomsayer. The end is coming. Searing Emerald, fire will burn. That is part of the one of the events for the pre-expansion. Sorry about the spoiler there, but I wanted you guys to see that. So that is the video. I hope you guys did enjoy my little walkthrough with the Mistweaver Monk. If you're watching this video, make sure you give me a like. If you are new to the PWNCAST channel, make sure you give me a subscribe. If you have anything to add, any comments you'd like to make, please understand, guys. I do these videos for you guys to have these visuals. I don't know everything about every class. It's just impossible. You want to ask me about Destro Warlocking, we could talk about that all day. But I do have enough understanding of each situation to know what is what. So hopefully these videos are doing it for you. I always have to make sure that I say these in the role ability. So when we have healing or tanking, I have to make sure people know, because healing and tanking, people take it so seriously. I don't want to offend anybody with my opinion. So there is that. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe.